If you are lucky enough to be retiring with a pension, you're probably saying, hey, I can't wait to get this thing, but there's so many little weird things that I don't know about. Well, that's what I want to make sure that you don't mess up. There are a lot of things when it comes to a pension and really just making sure that you make the right election. I've seen so many clients that retired and made the wrong election, and now they're having to really just offset that by making sure they had enough for savings. And if you don't have enough for savings, then it's like, well, what do you do there? You're set and stuck with a fixed income. So let's first go through a little bit of article here where it talks about consumerreports.org, how safe is your pension? A lot of people are concerned with their pension, and I want to be able to really just help you to address your concerns and understand what you're looking for, what you need to be asking to make sure that the pension is going to be there when you retire. And so right here, it does say 80% of the 29,000 private sector defined benefit plans insured by the Federal Pension Benefit Guarantee Corp have been underfunded by $740 billion. State and local public employee pensions were recently in a $1 trillion hole. Now, it doesn't mean specifically that these pensions are going to not pay out for you. But if you look down here, it says vested pension assets, those that legally become your property after a period of time, are generally safe thanks to federal law. But if the plan is terminated, the PBGC, which itself is in a $26 billion in the red, is required to pay vested benefits only up to a certain amount, which varies by the employer's age or the employee's age and the year in which the plan is terminated. So that alone is giving you some peace of mind, but also it's about clear as mud, and it's really not much peace of mind because it's like, well, how much are they actually going to pay out here? There's some concerns when it comes to this. And here in a minute, I'm going to go through Nest Egg. I'm actually going to show you a little scenario of some things that we can address when it comes to the pensions, other things there. But then also looking at this, it talks about the different changes that could be happening. And then, and here, pensions of government workers aren't covered by the agency, but are often protected by state constitutions or laws. Still, 26 states have squeezed benefits for new hires, some other workers, and retirees. I'm sure if you are in one of those company or one of those states right this second, I personally used to work on one where they made some major changes that were a significant cost savings for them, but also it was a cost to the employee big time because they got rid of inflation increases and all these other things that I'm going to address with you here in a minute when it comes to Nest Egg. And so taking a look one more time at this article though, it says, conduct a pension checkup. So study the summary plan description and annual benefit and funding notices, which your employers should make available to you so you can ask, hey, I want to see how healthy is our pension system. And it's federal 5500 form available, benefitspro.com. It's a good sign to see if assets are at least 80% of liabilities. Below that is a red flag for potential problems. So that means that, if they're at least 80% funded, that's not a bad sign. Now, the risk is that your pension fund is oftentimes investing in the stock market just as you are. So if you look back at something like 2008 and you have this large market crash, that's where pension funds seem to struggle. Or if there's a major event that happens. There were a lot of pension funds when the Silicon Valley Bank went under that were having some real issues there and being more underfunded when it comes to things because of their investments in some of these banks. And so let's go ahead and take a look here now and just kind of understanding the basics and understanding, hey, where can I figure out, is my pension fund in trouble or not? Well, let's go ahead and take a look and let me explain a few of the things you really want to be thinking through when you're taking your pension. And so we've got retired Roger, Mrs. Retired Roger here. And if you look, as far as their income goes, they're going to have Social Security coming in and they're going to have a pension. And their pension is going to have a 3% annual increase. Oftentimes it's called a COLA, cost of living adjustment, when it comes to the pension systems. So if you're looking at your pension, you want to find out, is there any kind of increase on that pension? Because $65,000 today may be one thing, but $65,000 30 years from now is going to be significantly different. Just think about the past 5 years, and if you went and purchased a car 5 years ago versus if you went and purchased a car today, or even just a gallon of milk, everything has significantly went up because of inflation. So just making sure that you're aware of this and whether or not you have that increase there. And then we've got to talk through a survivor benefit. Do you have a survivor benefit? Do you need one or not? If you're not married or Maybe you have a significant other and they do allow the survivor benefit to be elected for a significant other in your state or wherever you are, or with the pension. You can elect for that. Sometimes it's 100% that you can get. Just know that when you get that, though, your annual amount is always going to go down. If you elect 0, that's going to pay you the highest annual amount. The reason for that is because there's no risk for them. Something happens to you, it's done. There's no worries there. But they want to pay you less because now they're having to really insure 2 people by saying, well, if something happens to you, we have to make sure that money is paying the other person as well. So you'll sometimes see pension plans have it at 50% or 75% payouts or 100%. Then they have other options as well, such as maybe like a 10-year certain. So a 10-year certain would be, excuse me, I've been battling a cold. So a 10-year certain is really where what you're going to get is when you retire, you're going to get your pension for at least 10 years. Now, if you pass away in year 3, then that means that somebody is going to get the pension the other 7 years. But once you've passed year 10, that means that, hey, guess what? You'll still get your pension, but nobody else is going to get it if year 11 you happen to pass away there. So that's just something that you really want to focus on, making sure that you're making the right decisions for you. Now, so if we come over here to retired Roger, though, retired Roger's in a great spot because in the current plan, him and Mrs. Retired Roger are going to live to 90 years old. They're retiring at 60. He's going to get $65,000 in a pension that's going to increase at a 3% cost of living adjustment there. And they're also going to receive Social Security. So with those things, they've got a 100% probability of success because they're only needing $60,000 a year. They're actually getting a surplus of money coming in, and they have $100,000 saved in a Roth. That's why their money is growing right here. They have a little bit of money saved in a Roth that's invested. So that's what we're looking at in this scenario. But then if we look over here on the left, we can see in this scenario, well, you're going to have still 100% probability of success, but less money. Well, what has happened here? Well, this would be a 0% cost of living increase and still 100% survivor benefit. So looking in this one, because they had saved some money and their pension is going to pay them between their pension and their Social Security is enough really to make most of the ends meet. At some point, what's going to happen is they're going to have to pull a little bit of money from their Roth accounts. And so you can see actually here, it really looks like most of that's going to come out from 2026 until 2031, and then they're going to start Social Security in 2032, and then they're going to have extra money the rest of their life, and they're doing well. So that's something that you're going to want to think through, though. Do you have enough money to offset if there's a cost of living increase or any kind of things there that you're, needing money for? So just make sure you're considering that. But here's the real concern. If you're married filing jointly, or if you're married in general, not filing jointly, that's more of a tax return. But if you're looking here and you're married and you say, hey, you know what? We haven't saved a significant amount. We've only got $100,000 over here in a Roth that we put away, and you're taking the pension, but you decide, you know what, I'm going to get a 0% increase and the spouse is going to get 50%. If you're getting that $65,000 there, well, now the spouse just lost half of the pension at age 75 if Roger passed away, but also she's lost his Social Security, or she's lost part of hers or part of his, because remember, you're getting 2 Social Securities when you're married, and then if something happens to one of you, you'll get the higher of the 2, basically, is how it breaks down. So in this scenario here, there's a lot of income that is going to be lost, leaving Mrs. Retired Roger without enough money to cover what is needed to live. So make sure that you're looking at your pension before you make these elections. Know if there's cost of living increase. Know if there is a survivor benefit that's going to cover your spouse. Or if not, then make sure that you are saving enough money on the other side of this to make sure that there is an offset there. So these are just some things to think about. I'm sure that there's other things that I haven't mentioned in this video. And if there's something that just popped in your brain, leave it in the comments below. I'm sure it'll be helpful for everybody watching.